Hey everyone, Robert Silver here, and today I'm gonna start off my new series for my YouTube channel. It's photo editing tutorials, and I'm basically gonna choose an image through each video and just talk you through my editing process and share what I do. Now, I'm not claiming to be the best at editing, a wizard at Photoshop, Capture One, or Lightroom, but I'm just gonna share with you what I've learned along the way. Yeah, and hopefully that helps you out. I really hope it does. So here I have an image of a model named Leah Lulian that I have known for quite a number of years. We shot this in front of a white seamless backdrop by Savage, and I used, what did I use? My D850 with the Nikkor 85 f1.8 lens for this shot. So right now this is the raw files, you can tell. And so yeah, so I'm inside of Lightroom here. When shooting, I tend to shoot tethered using Capture One, which I'm sure I did with this shoot actually, but nonetheless I have this image inside of Lightroom. So I will be doing future videos where I start off in Capture One, but here we are in Lightroom. This is Lightroom Classic CC, by the way. So anyway, so let's get started. Let's start with this white balance, kind of check that out a little bit, see if I like it. There we go. Let's change the camera profile. Since we're dealing majority of skin tone, let's go right here to portrait. I usually use portrait if I'm dealing like headshots or there's a lot of skin tone situations showing up, so I want to make sure that sometimes when I shoot outside I tend to use standard. Anyway, so I press auto, not that that ever does a real good job because it usually likes to shoot for 18% gray and blows out my shadows a lot, but it does give me a rough idea. Now I use the undo before and after button often, just to double check myself to see if I like where it's going. Definitely gonna bump up this. There we go. I'll correct it as I go along. I still have to add some other things. Let's say there, a touch of clarity. Don't add too much clarity. More clarity is good if you want like more detail, more defined detail in the shadows, like the in lines in dark areas, especially like around her eyes and her eyebrows and stuff like that. But what it does for skin tone, it makes it look really bad real quick. So like if you add too much, it starts looking like that. Look at the skin. It starts showing the imperfections way too much, and no female model wants that. Now clarity is nice. I do add a touch more than I would for male models, just that adds a little bit of edge to them. Okay, so moving right along, I'll come back to all of the basics parameters in a second. Start off with like a medium. There we go. And then with medium, then I can see I want to add just a touch more shadow. Just bring out some detail in the hair. Cool. Before, after. See, her skin tone looks great already. It looks really nice. Let's close that. So be careful here. Dial that down like maybe by 5. Cool. Before, after. Cool. Now our skin looks nice and rich. See that? Boom. Looking good so far. And a touch here. Nice. The before and after is really good to use because it really double check like how far you went or how far you didn't go. I always start off with 70. It's just my preference. You can do what you want to do. I hold down the option button on my Mac. I'm using a MacBook Pro to edit this photo, and I like to go like right there. Cool. Just a touch of noise reduction. You never know. Don't think I needed it, but did it anyway. Lens correction. Cool. So far so good. Now that I did all the basic editing, let's add a little bit, touch more. There we go. Cool. Now, let's get into using some of these editing tools up here. Let's go to fill. Now I can see a lot of little things I want to fix. The more you take away right now in terms of finding all these little blemishes, the easier it is to smooth the skin. And when you do the smoothing of the skin process, it looks even more flawless. So don't be bashful. Don't rush yourself. It will pay off in the long run. So as you can see, let's take a look. Before, after. Before, after. Already a big improvement. Before, after, before, after. Okay. So a lot of the other things I want to improve, I can do so inside of Photoshop. Let's add a little kick to this. Here we go. Now I'm going to bring this into Photoshop and show you what I got to do next. Okay, so now I'm inside of Photoshop, and the first thing I'm going to do is start retouching her beautiful face. Go down to about, let's get a little bit further out. There we go, like that. And one thing I use the most by far to retouch skin or to improve and remove blemishes is tone curve, and I use I use the tone curve for dodging and burning. So I'm first start off with dodging, so I'm gonna brighten it up just a hair, just a little bit. Invert that, call that dodge 1. You call it whatever you want. Start with the brush, go smaller. I always start with smaller brushes. You can see here, 10% flow. Go down, opacity is at 100. And now I just start working magic. And you can see already it's evening out the skin tone. That's all is my goal. That's my goal. So it's to even out the skin tone, which thus removes a lot of imperfections. You can see right there. But the best part about creating this layer and doing dodging and burning on this tone curve layer is that it is non-destructive. I'm not touching the image. I'm not manipulating those pixels. That means I'm able to maintain the original texture of the skin, all while improving it. Of course, I do a before, after. You see, there's already a significant difference. Cool. Anything I can't get with this layer, I just create an additional layer and apply even more of a brighter dodging or brighter tone curve to dodge with. Just soften it up. I don't want to get rid of all the shadows because this is how the light shaped their face when it hit it. So I don't want to like ruin the original so much. That's the light pattern that was created as the flash hit her face, you know? So, but I do use dodging to soften the shadows, not necessarily to remove them. Otherwise, I just choose a different photo or capture it in a different way in the first place. But here's the before, after. And I'm using a Wacom pen tablet, so it's pressure sensitive, so I'm not just pressing super hard, or at least with the same pressure amount. I'm going lighter, like right here. I'm gonna go light over her nose to even out some of the skin tone here. Very lightly. See the difference here. Nice. Soften it up a little bit. Soften it up. Nice. That's the before, after. Let's go here. I notice if you zoom in too close to the image, you'll miss a lot of what areas you may need to improve, or you don't see if you went too far with the editing. An easy common mistake is, obviously over editing. So I try to do a little bit, and then I go to check where I've been, the before and after. Kind of keeps me in check. And like I said earlier, the more editing I do now, the better the results of the skin smoothing. So that's ultimately what I'm doing. I want to get the best results, but it's only as smooth and clean as is the original or the bottom layer, I guess you want to say. This brush a little bit bigger. Soften this up a bit. I do want to maintain her cheekbones, at least the shadow right here underneath her cheekbone. So I'm just going to go lightly, ever so lightly, right over it. That's it. I still want it as deep, but I am going to go very lightly over it. Just a little bit. Again, evening out the skin tone. I'm not just hitting right in the shadow. I'm going to hit the edges too to kind of blend it in. See right here, boom. Even it out a little bit. I'm going light, not pressing hard. And I'm going to press a little harder here. Get these shadows out. Get this shadow out right there. See? Now let's do before, after, boom. After a while, it starts to become very much second nature, and you're ultimately sculpting her face through dodging and burning. That's why, you know, a dab would do. Do a little bit, check, little bit, check. 1, 2. Okay, I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it so far. Right there is what I'm gonna fix right there. Okay. Remember, this is just the first layer of the dodging. Let's go ahead and save. Here we go. Now we're going to move up, take care of around the forehead area. You can see I want to right there. Here, make this a little bit smaller. Oh, see, I can see I went a little too far. Let's go back. Just went right there. Cool. Now let's take a look at the image as a whole. Save. Now let's see how it looks so far. Before, after, before, after. Let's soften up right here. Going lightly over it. Cool. There we go. Before, after. You know what? I still see some area where Nice. Okay. Now let's get the neck area. Models will love you for days, and any female subject, and some male. Get rid of these necklines. Again, dodging and burning is an awesome way to do it, because then you don't ruin or damage the texture of the skin. Yes, you can use stamp tool or even the healing brush, the healing tool. But I just find that a lot of times those are my last resorts, and dodging can take care of the majority of the work. Do the most of the heavy lifting. So you can see 1, 2, and I'll come back for those in a second. Do what you can. Again, if you feel like you need to go deeper into the shadow to remove it, then make another tone curve layer, bump up the brightness, and rock and roll. Okay, now let's make another, whoops. Second layer, save. Second tone curve layer, make it even brighter. Call this inverted, of course, and call it tone dodge 2. Let's get a little bit closer. As you can see, as I am applying it, it's not manipulating or damaging texture of the skin. So I recommend any portrait photographer serious about doing their own processing, practice and practice and practice dodging and burning. I'm still learning, but every time I edit, I realize improvements in how effective and how far just dodging and burning can take your image from good to great. There are times when I'm shooting, I already know, like, okay, I'm gonna apply this, some dodging here, and when I'm previewing images, or some burning there. Cool. And all I'm trying to do again is even out the skin tone. Sometimes the skin is perfect, but just the way the light casts over it, or how the light, you know, spills over the face, it creates these shadows, giving the illusion of imperfection. And that's what I'm trying to do, is just trying to even out the skin tone. Alright, let's make this brush a little bigger. before, after, big improvement. See right here, going back to what I did previously, there are some areas I can now go grab and get. Cool. You don't want to take away all shadows, just because when you're dealing with portraits, you know, folks' faces are spherical. They're not a 2D object. So highlights and shadows help to create dimension, and you don't want to alleviate all that, but there are times you want to bring it down a notch, or at least even it out and make it look, you know, a little bit better. But my goal is not to remove, but just to enhance. Let's see here, whatever, there we go. I think I want font. Don't like that. Let me go back. There we go. I'll come back and improve this little area with some dodging when I get to that point. Now let's get to the neckline. Okay, let's check out where we are. This might seem like it takes a long time, and it honestly doesn't feel like it because I'm just a stickler for detail. If I see something, I'm gonna work on it. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. But I'd rather be detail oriented. So far looks good. Now, boom, 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 boom. Let me see if one more dodge layer could help underneath the eye. Let's just move that down just. Okay, let's see where I can go with this once I get to dodging, because I think I can fix a lot of this. Whoops. I mean, one. Let's go to burn. So I add multiple layers for each of the dodging and burning. Now I'm just trying to blend and make this all look natural. Not trying to again remove the highlights, but just soften it up. That's all. You can see the texture of the skin still is there. Let's take a look. 1, 2. Go up here. Let's go right here. Eyelashes more prominent. Nice. Oh, let's just run a little dodge. Yeah. Gorgeous. Love it. 1, 2. Before, after. Before, after. I can see it right there. I want to outline just a little bit. Before, after. Using the tablet is such a game changer when it came to me improving my editing. I mean, I'm literally drawing the effects I want. That's why it's definitely worth the money. Get yourself the Wacom tablet, and I have specifically the pen tablet, the small Intuos Pro small pen tablet. So anyway, say that 3 times fast. I'll leave the link in the description down below in case you're curious about getting your own. It's worth the investment. The mouse just doesn't cut it. And what I like about the tablet, it's smaller than my it's like a large iPad really size. It's thin and it goes right in my laptop bag, so I can literally have my entire editing station wherever I go. Cool so far. I'm liking everything. Maybe add a little burning right here just to even it out. Let's go here. A little dodge, I think. Couldn't hurt. And now you see I have my dodging and burning layers, and I could just go back and forth. One being the lightest, medium, and brightest, and then here's my burn, my first layer for burning. And I just go back and forth and literally paint what I would need, what I feel like I need. Soften it up a bit. That's it. Just keep on painting, keep on doing what I do. Nice. So far, so good. Let's go to the first one. Right here. Wow, nice. Save. Let's take a look. Before, after. Before, after. Oh, I see a little layer I'm going to try to get to. Looks good. Just one area that I just noticed. See, I go back and forth because so many times I'll just, if you're going too fast, you'll miss something. Check yourself. Don't just stay this close, zoomed in. Also, you need to go back out to full fit the screen, look at the image, do the before, after, before, after. Make sure you try to pay attention and correct any changes. Okay, so that's my dodge burn layers. Now we're gonna create another layer, save, and now we're gonna remove this fly away, these little hairs, fly hairs, whatever you want to call them. I'm gonna first use stamp and try to stamp the heck out of this. See how small I'm doing it? Well, but as you're stamping, you are manipulating and messing with these pixels, so that's why I try to do it as small as possible. Okay, this is fine. Let me get a healing brush in there. Let's make this even smaller and just clean it up a little bit. Oops. Cool. Now I'll do the same thing here. Okay, see that? 1, 2. All these other hairs look pretty natural there, so I'm not really gonna mess with it. Just call that, whoops, hair removal. Good lord, can I spell? Nice. This is kind of interesting. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Look for any other Oops. Oh, look at that. Right here. Now you're probably asking, why did I do that? Well, I just wanted to get rid of the hair, and now I can use my dodge and blend that back in like so. Oh, silly me. Oh, now I see a little imperfection that is just driving me up the wall. But I'm gonna fix that right now. Oh. Whoa, that was annoying. Okay, now from here we're gonna add some sharpening. Save. Go to my actions. I already created this action. Bam. Now let's go in and see how much that has been sharpened. Pretty nice. We're going to lower that. About 70. Merge these layers. I'm going to make a copy of that layer, and then what I'm going to do is add some gloss to the lips here. Gloss to the lips. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Then I will do this. What did I just do? There we go. Now I'm going to paint this effect onto her lips. Anywhere that I want to be a little bit more glossy looking. And if you can tell, 1, 2, adds a little pop. The way I just used the high pass filter is also really good for adding sharpness too. So, but most importantly, I use it for adding glossiness to the lips. Now let's take a look back. Go back out. And I'll lower that probably to about 60. Cool. Let's go up to 70. Nice. Let's compromise 65. Okay. Sweet. Beautiful. Now I did sharpening, I did the lips. Now the final touch is going to be the skin smoothing. So let's go ahead right from here. I thought I merged these layers earlier, but there we go. Go to my action. I already made a skin smoothing action right here using a high pass filter already. And now I'm going to call it smooth. Now I'm gonna paint on some smoothness. Go. Just paint it on. I'm using, just touching it very lightly, not pressing hard and overdoing it. Again, if I need to go, feel like I need to apply more, I'll just make a second layer. But anywhere there needs to be definition or detail, I'm not going to go over, like the lips and the teeth. I'll go over here, gently over her cheekbone. Nice. Her nose, for sure. And I'm barely touching the pen to the tablet. Barely touching it. Just smoothing it. Cool. Again, with the highlights, I'm going to be very careful, because I don't want the highlights, since it's supposed to show details in those highlights, I don't want to overdo the smoothing on it and make her skin look rubbery. That's when you know for sure you've gone too far. Now, if that's your thing, well then, good luck, Godspeed. But I'm barely touching, because I want those details to still be there. If you feel like you went somewhere you didn't like, press X, and that will invert it to black, and thus you would paint it back on. You would remove the effect. Right now I'm applying it. See, I'm not going up toward the eye. I want that detail to still be there. Okay, again, it's not to overdo it, in my opinion. It's just to enhance the skin, create a glow. And now, do it over her neck, because it'll look odd. If her face is smooth and her neck and chest isn't, that'd be kind of odd. Again, being that these are layers doesn't mean you need you have to you stop using dodging the burden just because you stopped earlier. You just go ahead and apply it as needed. Okay, of course, save. So as you can tell, she's already looking pretty freaking amazing. Put these Boom. So with that said, now I'm gonna go out a little bit. Whoops. Oh, by the way, you can still look at the skin texture. Still looks good. Still looks real. But yet her face is nice and clean. Oh, I see something I don't like. Sweet. Let's try that. Now, I'm just doing final touches with the dodging and burning. Whoop. Just making sure I got this whole area. nice. And now, just bring that down just to. Beautiful. Skin. Let's see. Okay, now we'll save it for the last time, and now we'll just improve some extra lighting in terms of exposure, color, etc. Alright, so here you can see the original layer straight from Lightroom, and now let's take a look at the after. So I apply everything, and then there we go. That is the after. Again, here's the before. You can tell. Let's take a little closer look. And then here's the after. And there you go. So with that said, I'm gonna post a before and after on my blog. All you have to do is go to Robert Silver Photography right here. Go to my website, and once you get here, all you gotta do is click blog, and you can check out all my the before and after images here. I'll also be posting a list of what gear I use, what software, etc., links and all that good stuff down there. In the meantime, you could definitely follow me regularly on Instagram at Robert Silver Photography. Feel free to holler at me, and if you have any questions, you can send it me in inbox. It's all good. Of course, if you're looking to improve your portrait photography and photo editing game, you want to step it up, go to my website again at Robert Silver Photography right here. Here we go. Go to my website, click on workshops, and that will take you to this site here. Click on workshops right there, and then it will bring you to all of my upcoming portrait photography and photo editing workshops. I have a Lightroom 101 workshop where I share all the fundamentals of Adobe Lightroom Classic CC. This is perfect for beginners looking to get started with photo editing and look at Lightroom and think it's a crazy maze of sliders and whatnot. Well, I help you to demystify all of that. It will be on February 23rd at Mike's Camera in Dublin, California. I'll also be in LA for a male portrait photography workshop March 2nd. And of course, I'll be back at Mike's Camera a couple of times. I have a 3-day photo hike through Yosemite National Park. And I'm teaming up with a good friend of mine who's a fantastic landscape photographer. And he will be teaching 3 workshops during this photo hike, all about landscape and nighttime photography. I will also be in New York City for my first Portraits in a Park workshop in the Dumbo section of Brooklyn, June 29th. You definitely want to sign up for that. And I'll be, the workshop will be featuring this beautiful model here, Stephanie from Slew Agency. So it's going to be a really great photo shoot and opportunity to step up your natural portrait photography lighting game. Anyway, with that said, of course, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and make sure that you get those notifications when I post more videos. Post those comments down below of any questions you may have, any comments I'd definitely like to know. This is a new series for my channel, and with your help, I can improve on these series. I really want to do these series just because I get a lot of questions on how I edit and, how did I get from point A to point B with the photo processing. So again, I know that I'm just starting out with this, so I definitely want to hear some feedback. It would be much appreciated. Of course, subscribe like I said earlier. Otherwise, I'm Robert Silver, and until next time, keep shooting, stay creative.